Hi, Mike. Instead of just sending you a blueprint example, which is tough because they're so proprietary, we put a little overview of VI together for you. And for anyone else watching from the Providence Equity Portfolio family, hi there, I'm Paul Shapiro, founder and partner at VI, a sales transformation company with a mission of turning sales teams into customer-centric, scary smart, high-performing rock stars. And we do this work because today's business environment is so full of disruption and commoditization, where a salesperson's days are filled with rejection and endless competitive pressure, where it's likely that your industry has been experiencing more change in the last few years than it has in the last few decades. And given all of this as a backdrop, sales effectiveness is more vital than ever, and it never happens by accident. So how can we help? At VI, we're all about three things, and we believe that without these three things, you become extremely vulnerable in the marketplace. And with these three things, you can develop an environment of true continuous improvement and a durable culture. The first step is to unify your sales organization with standards of excellence. We work deeply with your team and get the right external inputs to develop a comprehensive, organized collection of the most important key practices, disciplines, behaviors, and tools that drive sales strategy, account leadership, and effective coaching. This becomes your roadmap, your playbook, your blueprint, whatever you want to call it. It becomes your gospel. Can I get an amen? A blueprint drives consistent, repeatable, and sustainable standards of excellence across your organization, not only for salespeople, but for managers who need to coach their people to top performance. Imagine how much easier it's going to be to develop your sales team and hold your teams accountable when you have total clarity about what success looks like. There will be no question about how smart they'll need to be, what effective discovery must happen to uncover your customers' needs, how to build an effective value proposition, objection prevention and handling, solution development, solution delivery, closing and negotiations. It'll all be in there, and it'll be a totally relevant, customized, one-of-a-kind competitive advantage. The odds are your competitors won't have one of these, and if they do, it won't be nearly as good. Phase 2, activation. So we've created best-in-class blueprints to become the foundation for customer engagement excellence. Next, we get to activate it, to integrate it, to demonstrate it so that everyone understands the new standards and expectations and develops the confidence and skills to perform under pressure. Our mantra is that it's better to sweat in practice than bleed in battle, and that sums up how we train salespeople. Highly realistic practice in an environment that's simulation, not role play. There's a big difference. Role plays are pretend. Simulations are scorched earth, and it's as close to real life as you can get. Regardless of whether it's in the classroom, the office, or on our digital platform, our training isn't content overload, and it's not slide whipping. It's mostly practice, discussion, feedback, and coaching. The content is always the smallest part, and practice is always the biggest part, because skill isn't just about handling the ball. It's about handling the ball under pressure. And you can learn some of that in the classroom or online, but that pales in comparison with what you're going to learn when you get on the field. We simulate the field, and it's how sales athletes are made. Last but certainly not least is sustainability. Imagine you've developed an amazing blueprint, and you did all the right things and activated it. People are inspired and they're bought in. Now one of two things can happen. It can catch fire or it can fizzle. And fizzle isn't an option. We need an ongoing reinforcement and coaching platform if we want all the hard work and progress to stick. With great frequency in communications, the messaging needs to be repeated. It needs to deepen, and it needs to evolve. There has to be a reward and recognition platform that's not just focused on performance. It should recognize and reward great behavior, shouldn't it? We should have frequent communications from senior leadership, live, video, written, all of it. It's all good. We live in a multimedia, highly distributed, multi-screen world, and we need to be where our people are and where they learn. We need to use technology to shrink our environment and have planful, constant contact to reinforce all the great stuff in the blueprint. And when we have success, we should share it across our teams. We need to do it as part of an internal communication strategy. We prepare organizations to do that at VI, and it's really important. Driving revenue and arming a team to really deliver value doesn't just happen. But if you build this environment and you develop your team to be real value creators, then you're going to have a durable competitive advantage. And if you ever wonder why the training didn't stick, why people went back to their old habits, or why they aren't performing up to expectations, just look at your sustainability strategy or lack of one. And the good news is that this self-inflicted wound is totally avoidable. For VI, it's been a privilege to partner with so many smart, committed, and creative individuals and teams to find ways to get smarter, more curious, and more prepared to deliver value to customers. One example of our work is with a Providence equity portfolio company called Univision. The impact that we had on the $2 billion Hispanic media giant was immediate and it was profound. We helped them achieve an extraordinary reset of their entire sales structure and process. It drove tens of millions of dollars of incremental revenue within the first 4 months of our launch because for the first time, the team clearly understood their objectives. They were coached, they prepared, and they practiced. And this was just the tip of the iceberg for Univision and Vi. You can see more about the details of the use case here. I won't read it to you. You can just hit the pause button. We've got plenty of other examples of success, like the time we drove 87% greater revenue lift, 40% greater productivity, and reduced first-year turnover by 13% within the first year of implementation for a large digital media organization. Then there was the time we created more than $200 million of operational savings for a big distributor in the tire industry. That gives you a flavor for what we do, and if you want more detail, just let us know and we'll walk you through those use cases. And if you want a little more right now, then watch the bonus footage coming up next of a recent module that we built that showcases our unique outlook on the topic of value proposition. It'll give you a peek into how we think, and hopefully you'll never look at value propositions the same way again. Thanks for watching, and here's to turning your Providence equity-backed sales organizations into rock stars.